Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, and my friends, today I just want to talk about the cast of the King of Fighters 15. The game has now been out for a little bit, and I figured it'd be fun to talk about some of the characters I feel are a little bit stronger than the rest. Now, this is not a tier list video, so please don't take it that way, but even in this early span of the game's lifetime, it's pretty obvious, some characters maybe have a leg up on the competition, let's put it that way. So that said, I figured, well, let's just talk about some of these characters and why they're perceived to be pretty strong, and maybe why they're just so strong flat out. And I feel probably the poster boy right now in this early stage is Ralf, so let's start with Ralf. So starting with Ralf, let's talk one of the big things everyone's talking about is the range of his normals, because they're pretty titanic. So he has Stand Heavy Punch, which is ridiculous. Absolutely, but it is shared by Clark, right? So, some of the Thunder's a little gone because it's shared move. But, just like Clark, it has the weakness of can't hit people crouching so good. And a lot of characters, they will fight back with pokes from a crouching range. So not as ideal, but that's where Stand Heavy Kick comes into play. It has like 1 pixel less range than Stand Heavy Punch, and it does hit crouchers. So this is basically the catch-all button for the most part. Very few characters in the game can contest against this button while playing in neutral. You have to start jumping, all that kind of stuff. And if you want to start jumping at Ralf, well, he's got plenty of options, right? The heavy version of his little nuclear blast here, that is completely air invincible. The X version is invincible to everything flat out. So he has an easy on-demand reaction move. Also, it's a quarter circle back. It's not a Dragon Punch motion, so it simply takes less time to actually get this move off physically. So it makes it even better reactionary anti-air. Another thing is Ralf's damage is much higher than average. This is a basic low-hitting, light attack hit confirm combo. $271 damage. There's a lot of characters in this game that can't get that damage even with Burning Meter. You can give them an EX combo and they still can't get that much damage, let alone off a light starter. So Ralf's damage is absolutely nuts. How about 1 bar worth of damage in the corner? That's 514. A lot of characters have to burn 2 or 3 bars to get that kind of damage. Ralf, no big deal. And just weird oddball stuff like Crouch Fierce Punch here for Ralf is almost like a NetherRealm Studios crouching attack here, in that it's oddly good as an anti-air. Now, a lot of crouching normals that are good at anti-air, they show it. They reach up into the air to try to snatch people out of the air. Ralf, he stays nice and comfortable and very low to the ground, like Terminator or something in Mortal Kombat 11. Just some odd stuff. But yeah, suffice to say, it's pretty basic why Ralf's pretty strong. He's got King Kong normals, his damage is through the roof, it's not hard to get the damage, and he's just, well, plain good. Now, how about Joe? Now, I'm not seeing a lot of people talking about Joe. His strengths maybe aren't as overwhelming and obvious to see like Ralf, but they're definitely there. One, Joe's always been a good all-rounder, and perhaps it's a little confirmation bias, I don't know, but his projectile game seems a lot better than it was in 14. I don't know if they raised the hitboxes on the projectiles, but for the most part, they are much more difficult to hop over. A full jump, maybe not so much. But a regular hop, it can be difficult, very difficult even. And the thing is, like any classic fighting game, if you do the slower fireball, if they try to jump over it, the full jump, it's very easy to snipe them out of the air. It feels like that part of his game plan is stronger than ever. Let alone the fact too, EX Triple Hurricane on demand. This was locked in King of Fighters 14. You had to be in maximum to do it, right? Having it on demand, very strong because it's very difficult to get around. But one of the things about Joe I've noticed is he has access to the practical stun combo. Now, before stun combos, combos take you from 0 to your stun, then get another full combo. They were more in the realm of impracticability, more for fancy combo videos than anything else, right? But Joe can very realistically, whenever he wants, for the most part, as long as he has at least 2 bars, do it on demand. Let me show you a very easy corner example. And there you go. So the damage is pretty decent, right? And, well, you're guaranteed a stun. And that means if you're guaranteed a stun, you're guaranteed a follow-up. And that took exactly 2 bars, not 1 inch of meter more, and off a light. Like, no big fancy heavy jump in into like all the heavy normals. Like, you don't even need that, right? And these kind of combos can be done from mid-screen as well, working your way to the corner. That's just a corner example, just using a light. These kind of combos are very practical for Joe, and they don't take much meter to do it. So the fact that you can start the stun with 2 meters and then get a full combo after the fact, and you know, you're building more meter as you're going, right? It means you can get comparable damage for like people burning 4 or 5 bars with only 2 bars. And because these combos are so long, you know, Joe was building a lot of meter back while doing it. So the meter efficiency for Joe compared to the average character is absolutely off the chart. Once again, stun combos, lots of characters can do them, but for Joe, they're practical in a real match way that just isn't normal. So you really got to watch out for that. Joe is a threat. We definitely have to talk Terry Bogard. Terry, definitely in the most improved category. He's a complete threat now. Historically, throughout the franchise's history, Terry he's not too much, right? In this game, oh my god, they gave him the horse steroids. They want Terry to be strong because Terry's very popular, so it's in their interest for Terry to be strong, and that's exactly what he is. Little things like crack shoot. In King of Fighters 14, it wasn't that negative, but it's definitely less negative now, on top of the hitbox being better. And with some pretty wild pushback on block, you can just toss it out. There's no real stakes. And of course, hey, speaking of tossing it out here, the old burn knuckle, especially if you space it correctly here, that's plus on block. As you can see there, see that little thing that says frame, says plus? Yeah. And I actually didn't even space it that well. Realistically, I didn't. I was pretty sloppy there. Still plus on block. One of the things that was good about King of Fighters 14 Terry was his normals, and he inherited the entire normal set, so that's really good. He has his reversal, which is no longer a charge move. It is now on demand whenever he wants. It's Dragon Punch motion. That's really good. So not only does he have like the on-demand anti-air, which is already really good, right? Power Down got buffed. Well, one, in that it exists again, right? Because he hasn't had it in a really long time. And they decided, hey, the heavy version, hey, let's give it like frame 1 armor versus ground attacks. Doesn't work so good against air attacks, but then again, you already have this for air attacks, right? But yeah, so it's armored, as far as I can tell, frame 1, on top of just being really good. Man, he's got a hell of a tool set. Just like Ralf as well, his damage is off the hook, especially off lights, very strong. Like 250 off a basic light hit confirm, no heavies. Lots of characters can get 250 even with heavies, or some characters can't even get that with an EX move, right? So damage is very good off lights, and his lights are great. And in fact, EX crack shoot on demand is an overhead too, so now his just overall pressure game is way stronger, because the usual run up lights is great, and then you can just toss this out, which is completely unreactable. You're gonna get hit by it. Like, Terry just doing really good. Also, since I get asked this all the time, multiple times a day, I'll show this little bit of tech in the video here for Terry. How do I do rising tackle into the power geyser? It's hard, right? So what you want to do is half circle back, and then forward, and then punch. This is for your rising tackle. I know this is weird, but it has all the inputs you need of the power geyser in it. So once you do that, then just hit quarter circle forward and another punch, and then you get it. Simple as that. So once again, half circle back, forward, punch, quarter circle forward, punch, and you'll do a rising tackle into an immediate power geyser. Robert is another character I'm seeing people finally starting to play up here. Robert is pretty good. He doesn't have a single overwhelming strength, but pretty much the fact of the matter is Robert's basically above average in every category. Maybe not overwhelming in any one category, but there's no real aspect of the game he does not excel in. He has the good buttons, like crouch light kick is amazing, and you get full combo confirms off it easy as you please anywhere on the screen. That's great. He's got the fireball, he's got the shoryuken, he's got the hurricane kick, you know, all the Shoto stuff. He has exceptionally good buttons as well, like stand light kick is an amazing check button. His CD is among the better CDs in the game, especially because it leads to free confirms if you get any hit for a mere meter. That's like basically 30%. He has the meterless on-demand reversals, and his, in my opinion, is a little better than average, especially because, once again, he can play the whole fireball, run forward, you try to jump at an uppercut you game really well. He's in the category where he doesn't need meter at all to do what he needs to do, and if you give him all the meter in the world, he scales incredibly well with it, and hell, he's got a command grab on top of everything else. And maybe I don't want to give too much away here, but you know, I used to play Robert quite a bit, and he's got really good safe jumps. You know, pretty easy, right? So his grab, maybe it's not as scary as Clark's or something, but you definitely get stuff off of it. And the fact that they gave him his EX machine gun legs, they gave it the juggle anywhere property. It did not have this in King of Fighters 14. This allows him just to do so much more damage anywhere in the corner. So how about this? So this combo, which you can find linked in the Robert combo guide at the end of this video, this part right here, this would drop in King of Fighters 14. This combo is not possible in King of Fighters 14. It's thanks to the EX Juggle Anywhere property of machine gun legs that we can do this combo, and the damage is pretty good. We started with 2 bars, 600, almost 650 damage. That's really, really good. So you take his just raw damage going up on top of all the versatility that Robert offers you. Like, it's just really good. That's really all I can say. So many characters, they benefit much more greatly in this game than in King of Fighters 14. A lot of characters just got buffed across the board. Robert, definitely one of the bigger recipients. And of course, there's more characters that seem to be doing well. Just, there's a lot of characters, and frankly, I don't know everyone to master level just yet. Let's put it that way, right? But hearing incredibly good things about Vanessa. It seems she made the transition from 14 very well. Our newcomer Dolores, seemingly doing pretty good as well. So there's a lot of strong characters, and of course, you know, the classic all-rounders, Yori, Kyo, they're doing just fine as well. Overall, I don't think there's many weak characters in the game. It would unfortunately still seem the case that Whip is probably still about the worst character in the game. She was basically the worst character in 14. She actually got tons of buffs in 15. But unfortunately, it's one of those things where what's 100 times 0, right? She got lots of buffs, but her core kit is still her core kit, and she's struggling. Someone like Maxima, a character near and dear to me, especially because so many people call me real-life Maxima, he definitely got nerfed a lot from 14. He does have some new stuff to work with, and he has the all-new move, the shoulder charge, although it's kind of debatably useful. If they let 14 Maxima into 15, he would be a top-tier character, for sure. But I think they were scared of exactly that. That's why he got some of the nerfs he did, and they curtailed some of his combo potential, unfortunately. But overall, in this game's very early lifespan, things seem to be pretty good. There's obviously, once again, there's characters that seem to be a little bit better than others, and maybe there's some characters that are a little worse than others, but overall, nothing's extreme, right? Like, in comparison, Dragon Ball FighterZ had Android 21 come out, the Lab Coat version, and Lab Coat 21 seems to be already the best character in the game a couple days after her release. There is no such disparity here in such a wild way. Now, time will tell, for sure, right? New tech's being discovered every day. Lots of stuff is happening. Apparently, Vanessa has just as many stun combos as Joe does, which is one of the reasons why I'm rating Joe pretty highly. So we'll see how that goes, I guess, right? But other than that, things are in a good place. I like it. Once again, this is not a tier list. Please do not take it as such, because I cannot definitively tell you all 39 characters. There's too many characters in a short amount of time. But yeah. Overall, it's cool, and I hope you appreciate just having a look at some of my thoughts on this matter. And other than that, my friends, well, I guess we're at the end of the video now. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some King of Fighters.